We got Twitch live, but again.
Yay, I see the stream.
Yeah, we have video and audio. All looks good. Hello and welcome everyone to the August 2015 Gaiscioch Family Summit. I'm your resident founder, activities director, managing editor, live stream guy who
Captain
led
of
you
Fall
off
Damage.
Yeah, Captain Fall Damage, Benjamin Foley. Thanks for being here today, guys. You guys are awesome as always. So today we are going to go through a simple little agenda. We're going to talk about some key dates coming up. Going to go over our family outlook and how we've been in the past month, where we're going in the future months. We're going to do a little bit about Gaiscioch 101, talk about recruitment. This is a very particular section that not a lot of people understand and not a lot of people get when they first come in the door because we work differently than every other guild out there. So definitely stick around for that. Then we're going to talk about Guild Wars 2 a little bit about ESO. We'll have some nice open discussions, have some people talking about stuff, sharing what they know, what they've seen. Let me remind you, both Elder Scrolls and GW2 do have some of us that have NDAs. So please, if you have an NDA, don't talk. Don't say anything. If you don't have an NDA, gab all you want. Pretty please. And then we're going to talk about our live streams. Got a new trailer to show you for the Gaiscioch Streams of Epic Adventure, and then we'll go over the magazine, where we're at with that, and then finally some question and answers. If you guys have any burning questions you've been sitting on all month, feel free to share them. So, key dates. This month, we have our magazine team meeting on Wednesday the 5th. We moved it to Wednesday because we moved the stream team earlier in the day, and that would have conflicted. August 6th to 9th, we're going to see Gamescom 2015 over there in Germany. If you're not familiar with Gamescom, it's like the, I guess I would say the PAX of the East, or maybe even the E3 of the East. It's the biggest gaming conference over in Europe, and it will definitely have some big announcements. Already, World of Warcraft has announced they're going to be announcing their expansion at Gamescom. We'll most likely see quite a bit of new footage from Guild Wars 2 over there. And most likely some updates on some of the other popular games on the market today. Monday, August 17th, I kind of moved it a little bit more just in case. I'm hoping for the 10th, but just in case, I also put the 17th down. Magazine issue 6 will ship. The last month I was pretty tied up with work and with my daughter, so I didn't have the time that I needed to be able to finish the layout, and we're also still waiting on an article from a very special person. So I'm really hoping that that comes through and we can share that with you guys. And then Wednesday, August 26th, 5 p.m., we're going to have our event leaders meeting. If you're interested in leading events for our family, please show up to that. It doesn't matter if you just joined the family yesterday or if you joined the family tomorrow. If you want to lead events in this family, come to that one. It's where we all kind of pull together and pull resources together and talk about how to lead events in this community and what we can do to help better our events. And then August 28th through September 1st is PAX Prime. This is a very big conference. We will most likely hear some breaking news about Guild Wars 2 at that one, hopefully a release date, cross fingers, for the Heart of Thorns expansion. And yeah, so it's going to be a really good time. I am going up to Seattle that week, so if you are in Seattle or near Seattle and want to come hang out with us, Sunday, August 30th, 8 p.m., we're going to meet at our traditional Fido's Irish Pub, right there in downtown Seattle, for our 5th annual Gaiscioch Family PAX Prime celebration. This will be our 5th year doing this. It's kind of celebrating our 14th year as a community. And this year we already have a head count of around 10 people. So we're going to have quite a few people there. Even some developers are saying that they're going to be there. So it'll be a pretty good time all around. So there's the slide for the Fidos. So we do welcome outsiders, so if you are not part of Gaiscioch and you're interested in attending, feel free. Do realize that you're buying your own meal, you're buying your own drinks, so bring some money, because we're not picking up the tab. So have a good one. Alright, Gaiscioch Family Outlook. In July of 2015, we saw a downward slope of 6% overall. Those are active players within 7 days. And then 7% for Guild Wars 2, 9% for ESO. This is normal. If you look at last year, Gaiscioch as a whole took a 15% dive. This in July of last year. Guild Wars 2 took a 5% dive, and ESO took a 33% dive last year. This is normal. It's summer. This happens every summer. As I've been saying since pretty much March, we can expect this to continue through next month. Come September, we should see a rise. So this should be our last down month. And in September, we should see a slight increase. November, October, December, we should see pretty big increases. That's what we typically see. And of course, as the first DLC comes out for ESO, we'll probably see a surge in ESO. When Heart of Thorns comes out, we're going to see a surge in Guild Wars 2. And realize that surge is going to be temporary. It won't stick forever. There will be people that come and say, hey, this is cool. Oh, ooh, shiny. I'm going to go back over here. That's just the way it is. There's no controlling the ADHD that gamers have today. So they'll come back and then they'll leave. We'll have probably a bigger number than where we're at today when that happens, because some of them will actually get re-interested in the game and fall in love with it all over again and realize that there aren't emperors running around one-shotting everybody by the hundreds anymore. So ESO can probably look for some pretty solid numbers coming back and kind of boosting that up. Guild Wars 2, Heart of Thorns, it's huge. I mean, there's a lot of the concerns that we had when we first came into Guild Wars 2 are going to be addressed. There's going to be raiding in Guild Wars 2. That's huge. And then the group content is getting way more challenging, so there's going to be some actual struggle there. It's not going to be easy mode through everything, so that's going to be a nice addition. World v. World's getting a nice little revamp. It's going to be very big maps and very big terrains, lots of vertical nature in it. Pretty much everything that I talked about, about a year and a half ago of what we'd like to see in World v. World has been put into World v. World. We've been actually hanging out with one of their developers and for the last year and sharing our thoughts and perspectives, and she has been going back and designing this world without us even knowing it. So we'll all be able to see her hard work and realize that, hey, look, I remember when I recommended this, and then boom, there it is. So definitely exciting stuff happening. Definitely stay tuned, and come Gamescom and PAX, we'll most likely hear some more. For those of you that like those Far East games, this weekend is actually the China Joy, which is a big conference over in China. It's kind of the PAX of the Far East. So definitely check out some of that. You can search the Gaiscioch magazine site for China Joy and find all kinds of articles about it. There will be a little PAX block and a Gamescom block on the Gaiscioch magazine site for those that want to stay in touch with the news there. So next, we have our Gaiscioch 101 on recruitment. Now, Gaiscioch doesn't recruit as normal guilds do. A lot of guilds will sit there and they'll spam chat channels and they'll go and hit up the forums and say, hey, join us, join us, join us, join us. This isn't us. We don't do that. So how do we grow? We grow by curiosity and intrigue. We grow by reputation. We grow by leadership, by example, by random acts of kindness, and by being inclusive. We let our actions speak louder than our words. That is kind of our credo in the way that we grow. We go out there, we throw a party, and if people are interested in what we have to offer, they'll come to us and ask to join. That is the first stage of any Gaiscioch membership. So what do we want to avoid? Blanket invites. We don't stand in the city and spam invites to every person we see. This is like, absolutely do not do this ever. For the love of God, stop doing this. This is the worst thing ever invented in an MMO. Chat spam. We don't sit there in capital city saying, hey, join Gaiscioch, we're the best. We have chickens on our fence. Join us. No, we don't do it. And we don't be exclusive. We try our hardest to be inclusive. That means including the outside world who does not wear a Gaiscioch tag into our events, into our parties, into our groups. Make them feel included regardless of what tag they have above their head. The only way that you go out into the world and meet people is by going out in the world and meeting people. You can't meet people by staying in your room and isolating yourself all by yourself, playing with the people that you already know. You'll never meet a person in your life doing that. So You know, we got to go out in the world and say, hey, hi, nice to meet you. It's just like dating. You got to go outside. Otherwise, it doesn't happen.
Good response, me. She says I only respond to ones with chickens on the barbecue.
Oh, true that. Now I'm hungry. Thanks, Shmi. So we don't be rude or negative. This is one of the biggest things that you see in games today is people, where can I find X? Say, where can I find this magic potion that I drink and turn into a turnip? And people go, I don't know. Ask your mom. No, that's not us. We don't do that. We leave that for the 5-year-olds. We will go out there and show this person where that turnip is. So it's our community is about helping people. You need to personally look inside yourself and find the way to help one another. If somebody asks for a favor or asks for help or doesn't know how to do something, you explain it to them. You don't respond with rude or negative or snide remarks. That's not who we are. That's not what we do. That's not the Gaiscioch way at all. So, and the other thing that I see a lot of that happens a lot in games that usually try to kill themselves, say Warhammer Online, you'll see people talking down about the game constantly. Nobody wants to hang out with people who are miserable. If you got Linus in the room, nobody wants to get around him. He's mopey, he's all emo, he's sad, he brings everyone down. We want to hang out with people that are rays of light. Little sunshines in the room, and that when they walk in, you say, hey, this is where the party's at. That's who attracts people. We don't attract people by saying, woe is me, life sucks. That's not going to attract anyone. People don't want to hang out with that. So try not to be negative. I know sometimes it can get sucky and it can get hard and it can get tough and you just don't want to play anymore. Well, don't play. Just go do something else for a little while. Walk away, go have fun, put a smile back on your face. And that'll bring happy, shiny people to our community so that we can have more happy, shiny people. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then don't ask somebody to join us. Make them come to us and want to join us. Make them curious and let their ambition drive them forward. So, what do we want? We want players who display initiative. We want players who flock to kindness. We want players who enjoy our events, and we want like-minded players. The first step in every Gaiscioch is one of initiative. They must choose to enter our house on their own terms. So we don't want to make that decision for them. We don't want to try to force them into something they don't want to do. We want them to come to us because they want to be here. That is the very first thing I learned about running a gaming community is for the longest time I tried to go out there and say, hey, join us. And it ended miserably because then people feel entitled and they feel like you should do everything for them. And all you get is people who think about me. What we want to do is think about we. We want to think about us as a community. We want to think about us as a server, us as a gaming community. Uh, we're much stronger when we work together than we do when we're alone, and we don't want everyone trying to pull somebody else's weight. We want to all be on a full sprint forward. So what do you do if somebody asks about Gaiscioch? You point them at gaiscioch.info. That'll take them directly to our About Us section and talk about our guild. Answer questions or get them in touch with someone who can. So if you see an elder or an officer or anyone that you know is very knowledgeable in our ways and might be able to answer the question, point them at them. Get them in touch with somebody. Make sure that they connect. If they want to join and have reviewed the website, send them to gsch.info/join with a secret word. You guys all should know it. Don't say it on here, or I'll actually have to change it for the first time in 14 years. But it's the same word that we've had for 14 years, and it's the very core of our focus and what we do as a community. So walk them through the process. Sit down with them and introduce them to how to register the website, how to log into the website, how to make sure that their Guild Wars 2 and ESO IDs are in the website. Show them around, show them the marketplace, the various tools that they have, how to claim participation. Walk them through the process, make them feel included. The biggest way that we lose members is by having them sit in the room and be totally lost and try to drink water from that fire hose by themselves. That doesn't work very well. We want to help them through it. If you don't know how to do it, please send them up to the lounge. I'm in there every single day, up in the Gaiscioch Tavern, and I will walk them through it. It's easy enough to do. I can pretty much do it with my eyes closed. I could do it while I'm programming a website. It's all good. Just send them my way. So how can you help? If you're an event leader, run open and public events. Print event announcements in chat frequently to keep people connected and in the know. Um, Spamming chat channels about a guild is one thing. Spamming chat channels saying, hey, we're doing this. If you'd like to come and join us, please do so. That's a different thing. That's inviting somebody to join an event, not a guild. Once they're in the event, they'll see how we operate, they'll see how we work, and they'll be able to become a bigger part of that whole picture. Mention Gaiscioch or GSCH in the event announcements. It's always good to do that. That helps with the name recognition. We have a really weird name, and I swear to God, you put it on a t-shirt, you walk into a bar, and I guarantee you somebody in that bar is going to ask you about it every single time. It's amazing how easy it is to get people to say, what the hell does that mean? And it's, for those of you that don't know what it means, they were the protectors of the Irish gods in Irish folklore, because the Irish gods weren't actually gods, they were just mere mortals with better medicine and weaponry. So they hired the best warriors in the land to protect them. So that's who the Gaiscioch were, they were the protectors of the quote-unquote Irish gods, and they were pretty much the best of the best, but the most honorable of the bunch as well. So they always put their best foot forward no matter what, and sometimes winning wasn't winning if it meant, having a totally lopsided victory. So your events, or say thank you from all of us at Gaiscioch for attending your events, and also provide them with the full calendar for our events. It's never bad to print out the gsch.info/G2A2 events or gsch.info/ESO events. That'll send them right to our calendar on our homepage, so that they can see what events we have going. There is a way to hide your events if you don't want random folk to join us, but for the most part, I encourage you all to run events open to the random folk, because those random folks usually become us folk. So if you get them on the website and they like what we do, they're going to want to join us. And that's just the best way that you can help us grow, is by going out in the world and welcoming people to the party. And then lastly, the biggest thing that you can possibly do is help new players. Be kind. It's the best way to grow. I swear to you, going out in the world and being a nice person, you'll attract other nice people. All the a-holes will make themselves known, and you won't even have to worry about them, because they'll go destroy themselves. You'll only get the people that you really want, and those are the real kind people. So that's what we're after. We want to get the good-hearted, kind souls of the world. And lastly, welcome all event attendees into our Gamebox. It is not a private Gamebox server. It is a public Gamebox server. Anybody and everybody, even if they don't even play the game that we're playing, if they want to play a game down the road, like 10 years from now, that they think is going to be big, and they want to join us in here, they're welcome to it. We love hanging out with people. They don't even have to be Gaiscioch to be in here. If you're running a public event, please, please, please give that information out so that they can join us in voice and get to know us.
Wow, okay, I never knew that. That's good to know.
Yes. Now, I will briefly explain the whole Sanctum Raw TeamSpeak and Gamebox. Gaiscioch events that are run in PvE for non-Sanctum Raw purposes, where we aren't, segueing into a Sanctum Raw event, are held in Gamebox. World v World-based events or Sanctum of Raw events are hosted in TeamSpeak. TeamSpeak is the Sanctum of Raw voice communication provider. Gamebox is the Gaiscioch voice provider. So ESO can't join up on Sanctum of Raw's TeamSpeak. So that way, if we all went over there, we'd be cut off from the rest of the family, and that is bad. So we want to be accessible to both halves of the house. So that's why we use Gamebox. And then go over into TeamSpeak whenever we're doing World v World. So that explains that. The Sword Community Guild missions we've been doing over in the TeamSpeak, because we segue directly into the World v World. And I don't want to try to migrate 150 people. So that's pretty much how that works.
Quick question about that, if that's okay.
Yes,
so
please do.
When I have somebody who I want to get into Gamebox because they've joined us in the Silver Waste, this happens every week. We have people join up with us. Should I just send them to gaiscioch.info/voice?
Yes, gsch.info/voice will automatically join them to our channel just by the way that they register.
Cool.
So they'll get presented with a registration form. It'll automatically have the Gaiscioch thing. So when they boot up, all they got to do is click on the Gaiscioch logo.
Good.
Hey, Vaughn,
Super
I had a
simple.
quick question for you.
Sure.
I noticed that you have a lot of these gsch.info/extensions. Can you create a page for the Gaiscioch members that has every single one of those items listed out, so that if we wanted to look it over and see if there was a particular shortened link that we could use, that we just have one page where we could go to?
Sure. I had a
That
forum
sounds
post
good.
with most of those there already, and I can just update it for you guys.
Awesome.
However, at the bottom of every forum post, you will also find a quick link, and on profiles, various player profiles, you'll also find a quick link. I'm starting to lace them throughout the site. I'll eventually get around to the marketplace and stuff like that, but it's basically our version of the tiny URL. And it's a heck of a lot easier for people to spell than Gaiscioch.com.
I love it.
Does anyone out there have any questions about recruitment within the family and how to go about things? Is there anything I forgot to explain that you guys want me to touch on?
I got a question.
Sure.
If it's not very frequently, but if there is a problem, who should we talk to? To the elders or directly to you?
First and foremost, if you ever encounter a problem, first thing I want you to do is hit your print screen key. I need screenshots, that way I can catch up on what happened. Scroll before the incident ever began, if it was in chat. And that way I have a full record of what transpired, and I can see all the parties involved and try to smooth things over the best I can. You can talk to any of the elders, myself. I'm always accessible inside this chat channel. If I'm not responding right away, just leave me a message and I'll get in touch with you. And then also some of the officers around, like Lakshmi, she's been here forever. A lot of the old timers know what to do and proper procedures, and you can talk to them and they can help, get everything in order for me. So the key is don't. I can't ask this enough. Don't just sit on things and hope it'll pass. If something is going sideways, let me know so that I can fix it before it really breaks. The worst thing you could possibly do is sit on it and hope it gets better. I need to know about it. Just not that I'm going to go kicking people out or going all lunatic crazy on people. I 99.9% of the time try to work through it in a peaceful fashion so that all parties are happy. But most of the time, it's just a misunderstanding that causes these things, and it's really easy to fix. So please don't sit on it. Bring it to me. Let me know about it, and I'll do my best to set it straight.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions about recruitment? Alrighty, we're going to move on to Guild Wars 2. So Guild Wars 2, Heart of Thorns. Who managed to watch some of the live streams or play some of the content?
I have.
And tell me, what have you seen thus far?
Wow. So mostly I've been looking at the different characters. I spent some time with Revenant, which is super cool, and even more cool since our last public beta for the Revenant. We'll get this week, a week from today, yesterday rather. We'll get another beta that gives us an opportunity to try out the legend for the DPS version, which looks like an amazing dual sword assassin type.
Really looks like Shiro. It just honestly, it's awesome.
And it's one of the really fantastic things about Guild Wars 2 is the combat system. It's just one of the most fantastic combat systems in any MMO. It feels really good. And it looks fantastic with Shiro. So done that. I've run around a little bit in Verdant Brink in one of the open betas. And we have that coming up again next week as well. I'm actually going to try and lead an event next week in Verdant Brink, which is a part of one of the new zones coming in the expansion. Just a part, but it has sort of a silver wastes or dry top kind of feel to it.
Awesome.
And I tried gliding, and I tried jumping on mushrooms, and both of those new masteries were the only ones that I had enough time to level up. But I'm hoping over the next couple open beta weekends we'll get a chance
Did
to play
it
more
feel good to you,
masters.
Shmi? Did it feel neat?
It did, yeah. The gliding is something I'm really looking forward to. Is one of the things I like best about Arcade, and it had that kind of a feel to it. However, you start as a sort of a junior baby glider, and so the duration of the gliding wasn't really great. But as you level up your mastery in gliding, it's supposed to get much better. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay.
Does that answer the kind of questions you were asking, Fog?
Yeah, and we will definitely see some more of that next weekend. So if you're planning on doing that, make sure to download early. Most likely be a pretty hefty patch when that all hits. So.
Good thing you didn't ask me. I'm a ball of hype.
Yeah.
So guys, for the whole weekend, us guys that are doing World versus World events, you can still participate in World versus World events, right? Just so we're not all alone.
You can go anywhere on any map with the beta characters in the live world.
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
And you'll have 4 beta character slots this coming weekend if you pre-ordered to try out the Revenant as well as the 4 already released specializations. That means we'll get to try out Reaper, Chronomancer, Dragon Hunter, and Tempest, and bring them out into the existing game world.
Oh, I see. All 4 of them as well. Nice.
It's
Should
really
be
exciting.
rather entertaining.
I'm sure there'll be bugs, and we'll find some other stuff. But it's how they balance it, and we'll get a chance to see how well they do with balancing, because they made a lot of changes to Revenant since the last public beta.
So yes, we definitely have that to look forward to. My bet is on PAX Prime for a release date for that. I'm guessing we'll hear at PAX Prime. That's kind of ArenaNet's home field, and they have a nasty habit of always dropping some big information at PAX that ends up stealing the show. Even the year that they didn't actually advertise at PAX, they were the biggest hit at PAX, and they were just throwing a party in the same area. They stole the entire show when they didn't even pay to actually be at PAX. So that was pretty awesome. But they always will do something big come PAX Prime. So I'm guessing they'll probably drop a release date on that day, or maybe some other content we haven't even heard about yet. So the other big news is that Sanctum of Rawl has had a reduce in transfer costs. A lot of you guys that are stuck on other servers wanting to come in, we do have 500 gem transfers now. That is because they changed the way that the algorithm works for finding out how populated servers are. And we are no longer a full server, we are now a medium server. And it's based on World v World population, not the overall who lives on the server population. So that's some good news. It's going to fill up rather fast. We've already had a couple of new guilds transfer over to Sanctum of Rawl, and I suspect we'll see a few more. So you want to try to transfer over sooner than later. That equates to about 90 gold to transfer here. So that's not too bad. You can easily farm that just by doing the boss trains, a couple days a week. Other than that, we do have a new learning event series coming out. I'm going to be dedicating pretty much one event per month I'm going to dedicate to training people, whether it's going to be a newbie training or a advanced level training. I'm planning on rotating them. This first month, though, I'm going to have 2 of them. So the very first one is going to be on August 13th at 6 p.m. I'm going to be in Queensdale teaching people the very basics of Guild Wars 2. We're going to talk about traveling methods, accessing lines, Arch, World v World, and other low-level destinations, commanders, and their role in Guild Wars 2. Food, utility, and banner buffs, world bosses, jumping puzzles, mini-dungeons, secret doors, and passageways. We're going to teach you how to insult a door. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Crafting and gathering, Mystic Forge, salvage kits, making money quickly, and the downside of being drunk. Yes, we are going to cover being drunk in this session. So if you don't know about any one of those things and want to learn, I'm going to be live streaming it so that people anywhere can see it at any time, so it'll be available on our YouTube site after the fact. And then the second event is going to be August 27th at 6 p.m. And that will be based on epic world bosses, advanced mini dungeons, guild missions. We're going to go through the various types of guild missions, even Shrek, and explain how the thing works. It's not going to be a, hey, let's get credit for this mission. It's going to be a, hey, this is the different stages of this type of event. This is your end game goal. This is how you do it. If you want the guild mission credit, you can come to the Tuesday missions, which is same time, 6 p.m. ish. Well, it's going to be 4:30 for Tuquaddle, and then missions after that. Then World be World at 6. But yeah, you can come to that event, or you can come to the Saturday night one for the mission credits. Mainly, I just want to give people an overview of what the guild missions do and how they function. Come the expansion pack, guild missions are going to drastically change, in that people can kick them off whenever they want, and any guild and all have the same mission every week. So it'll be a lot easier for people to run them, and I think it'd be really good to get them on the same page with knowing how to run them. And we're going to cover jumping puzzles, and then I'm going to give a brief overview of World v. World, teach you a little bit about what the different types of objectives are, how to move around, the different key spots that you'll hear a lot of, and some of the shorthand lingo that you'll hear in World v. World, so that you're not totally clueless when you go out there and you're like, what in the heck are these people talking about? If you want to know more about that, go to gsch.info/GW2101. That'll link you over to the official forums where I have a thread about it. And then event announcements. If any of our commanders would like to share, go ahead and press X, and I will call on you in chat. Otherwise, I'm going to announce my event, which is moving to Tuesday nights. Smitty and I swapped nights. And the missions to Bottle and World v. World night, the Siege War, will all be on the Tuesday nights from 4:30 is when we'll start forming up. For 50, we're going to fly out to Tuquaddle and take down Tuquaddle. By 6 o'clock, we'll be done with guild missions and be heading out to World v. World. So first up, I'd like to call on Shmi.
So just the same as last month, I'm still doing Silver Wastes on Saturday nights, about an hour and 20 minutes from now. So whatever your time zone is, we do it at about 7 p.m. Pacific. And tonight's going to be Silver Waste. As I just mentioned a few minutes ago, next week we're going to try and do Verdant Brink with beta tunes as a little vacation from the Silver Waste. So hope to see you guys out there.
Sounds good. And Smitty?
As Fogg kind of said earlier, since he moved Wednesday night guild missions to Tuesday evenings, that means my event got pushed over to Wednesdays. As such, I am also moving it up an hour and a half. So I will be starting my event at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So hopefully if you were still looking for World versus World on Wednesday evenings, hopefully I can help fill in that gap, and I hope to see you there.
Thank you. And Jed, go for it.
I did put an event on the calendar this week. I will sadly not be able to do it, but I've got my Sunday Fun Day that I'm going to start doing from next week on, and it's for just practically everything we want to do. We can go into Silver Waste for people that may not be able to make it to Lakshmi's event on Saturdays. We'll try to do Dry Top at some point. We'll try to do some achievements for people that may not have the time to join Aveen's Achievement Hunters. Just a whole bunch of different stuff. We'll go through jumping puzzles, whatever we feel like doing. No, Kitty, I can't do fractals. I don't know how to do those. But, all kinds of different things that maybe things from over the week that people didn't get the chance to do, and overall just get together and have fun.
Awesome. Jima?
Yep, I've got two events. They're called Gma Fogg's Leveling the Playing Field. We basically do the beginning areas and then move on to the 1 through 15, 16, 17 areas. And just take our time and enjoy. Monday from 2:15 to 3:45, and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So bring your coffee and donuts on Saturday. And we just have a good time running around, very slow pace for beginners.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else have an event that they want to share for Guild vs. Alrighty then, we will move on to ESO. So with ESO, Imperial City time, guys, it's coming August 31st. We got the beta tests open now on the PTS server. If you want to know more, the PTS has the patch notes on it. Definitely check it out. Is there anybody here that has taken the time to check it out?
I didn't.
Yeah, I've been in
I
there.
have.
And what's your first impression of what you're seeing?
It's a dungeon.
Yeah, it's kind of like a PvP dungeon. It reminds me a lot of Darkness Falls and DOC. I suspect that there'll be a bit of PvE and a bit of PvP there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a hot ticket for a while, which I suspect is going to come in the form of a repercussion that's going to affect the AVA as a whole. It will probably reduce the numbers of people in AVA in the main world because they'll all be flocking there. This will open up some exciting battles. They're also changing the way that the various campaigns work. So you definitely want to tune into those and look over those patch notes. Each one of them is having a different thing. Like some of them only keeps count. Some of them only resource counts count. And then there's others that everything counts. Or scrolls. There's one that only scrolls count for points. So it's definitely something to check out and take a look at and see which one you really want to be a part of. For my events that I'm going to be throwing in there, I'm going to be mostly focused on the 2 campaigns that everything matters. And you won't be able to travel to player anymore. So that's going to be a little tricky, especially with our large community. Players that decide that they want to go one way won't be able to just join us on another campaign. They're going to have to transfer there. So you definitely want to kind of plot out your course and figure out where to have your home campaign and your guest campaign. So we can look forward to that, August 31st. ESO also did announce at QuakeCon that they are going to be releasing new paid DLC content every 3 to 4 months. They're trying to aim for 4 per year. This is pretty good news because for the size of their first pack, we can kind of see that they're definitely looking at including a lot of content. There's going to be a lot of reworking of the crafting system in there. So I might be leaning on some of you guys for help on that. And then just the overall sheer amount of content that's going to be coming in, and new dungeons, new PvP stuff. Who knows? So we look forward to that every 3 to 4 months, having a big DLC pack that will be a paid pack. So save up those gems so that you can get it. So next up, I wanted to give a chance for any of our ESO leaders to go ahead and share their events. If you type X in the chat, I'll call on you one at a time. I will share that I am hosting a AV event. First one's going to be in the Lobby campaign on Thursday the 6th at 6 p.m. 6 to 8 p.m. We'll be running out in the I think it's it's been a while.
Yay, Backwater Blade.
Yeah, the B one. I know it was with the B. I was going to say Bleak Rock Isle, but that was like the newbie zone. Totally out of it. Go ahead, Prissy. You got an event.
I'm doing a couple days a week, and I'm thinking about maybe rotating the days because I'm tired of doing the same 2 dungeons all the time. I'm doing a come on, get to know your vet dungeons, and we're doing the vet dungeons, of course, and we're doing the gold key, so we're doing everything in it, and we're doing that 3 days a week. And then the biggest thing is we've started doing trials. That's the 12-man dungeons. We've been there twice. We've killed the first boss. We're going again on Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. I have a sign up on the website. It's probably full. I think when I looked, I had 14, so I'm going to take the first 13. And we're going to go in and see if we can finish the first boss into the second boss.
Awesome. Verb, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask a question first about Blackwater Blade. If you're running out of low-level tunes and they're all vet level, that means we can't go in there, right?
Yeah, if you are all vet, if you don't have any low-level tunes, you won't be able to go in. But my second event of the month is going to be in the high level one. So it's going to be one low level event, one high level event each month.
Excellent. So starting on the 10th of August, my playtime will shift to evenings. So the events that I've normally been doing at at 8 and 9 Pacific will be moved to 6 and 7 p.m. Pacific. That's 4-man dungeons for the most part. We have been doing a lot of gold key runs. Everybody's saving up their gold keys for the new release and the new vet level 16. So they don't want to spend any of their gold keys till they get leveled up. But one of the things that Prissy and I discussed and that we're trying to do is push the level of the vet dungeons higher so that it gets people more prepared to do the raiding events. We've got 3 big raids that we could be involved in as soon as we learn this first one.
Sounds good. Thank you guys. And Prissy, I have to say I am most impressed with your willingness to step up and lead this. Seeing you raid is definitely an interesting fact, and it's very exciting. And when I saw that you killed that boss, I was really excited for you. So stick with it. I know if anyone can figure it out, you can. So thank you, Prissy, for stepping up to that plate.
Oh, you're welcome. It was something. Yeah, it's great.
All right, next, in other news, our live stream update. We have been pretty successfully doing our live streams for the past 3 months, I guess. We just finished, episode 19? Or 18? 17? Somewhere in there.
17, I believe.
Yeah. Last month, as you guys know, we did our last live stream update kind of mid last month, so it hasn't really been that long of time. But we gained 9 people since then on Twitch, 8 people on YouTube, 15 followers on Twitter. We did have 762 new viewers in Twitch, 1,375 new viewers on YouTube. So that's a pretty good jump for only having about 15 days worth of stats. Definitely happy with that. And without much more ado, for those of you that are watching on Twitch and YouTube right now, gsch.info/Twitch, gsch.info/YouTube, I'm going to be showing you the new Streams of Epic Adventure intro. So enjoy.
Hello?
And there you have it, our new intro trailer. We will be doing the streams at 6 p.m. Pacific time from here on out. We moved it a couple hours earlier as we wanted people on the East Coast actually be able to watch it live. That would be nice. And poor Smitty, who's been staying up really late, will be able to go to bed a little earlier on those nights. So yes, that's the main reason why we moved it up. For those of you that don't know what the heck the Streams of Epic Adventure is, it's our team of myself, Captain Fall Damage Fog, meeting up with the Singing Commander Smitty and the Dragon Slayer Soren to go on various missions throughout various games around the world and try to see what these games are made of. So we go to a new game each week. We sometimes revisit old games to kind of rekindle some of the old love. Like coming up, we'll be taking a trip to Borderlands 2, which has been out for a while. But this month, coming up on the 3rd, we're going to be doing Heroes and Generals, which is a World War II first-person shooter MMO. Has a large-scale campaign battle. That should be a lot of fun. You can go to battle on a bicycle. I mean, how cool is that? But on the 10th, we're going to be doing Arc Lord 2. We got pretty much everything all set up for that. Going to kind of show off that game a little bit. And then on the 17th, we have a very special stream of Epic Adventure. Sorry, self-promoting here. But 4 Relics of Ire is a map that I put together with the help of a lot of the Gaiscioch out there that decided to try Neverwinter with us when we went in there with the Sager. Every single one of the people that helped me put that together and decided to be a part of that Sager is actually in that map. Somewhere along the way, they are one of the NPCs that you will encounter. And also one very special person is in that map, and that is Gaiscioch. She was a huge kind of mentor on the whole thing, and she was helping me. I was always sharing the stories with her, and she was coaching me along and telling me that things look awesome. She would help me with the maps, and so I actually included a actual quest line that involves Gaiscioch in there. So that's a very very nice thing to kind of remember her by, and I even went in and re-edited the maps and put a little memento in there for her. So that forever will live in my heart as Gaiscioch and I's little creation. But we'll be playing that on the 17th, and then on the 24th we'll be playing Borderlands 2, followed by Age of Conan on the 31st. I must warn you, Age of Conan is not kid-friendly. It is not safe for work. We are going to do our best to try to tone it down a bit, but it is an MMO, and there's no telling what we're going to see when we're going to see it. So it will pretty much be our first guaranteed M rating MMO that we play. So there you have it. Other than that, you always got the Siege War, which happens Tuesday nights coming up, and we'll also be broadcasting the ESO events on the Siege War as well. So if you are interested, definitely subscribe, gsch.info/Twitch, gsch.info/YouTube, or follow us on Twitter at gsch.info/Twitter. Go figure. Yeah, pretty much any social media / in the name. You're done. That's the way we set it up. So next, Gaiscioch Magazine. It will come out, I promise. Issue 6 is on its way. It's either going to come out the 10th or the 17th. I'm aiming for the 10th, but my little minion on my back says, you're kidding, right? So he made me put up that it might be the 17th. But I think we can do it by the 10th. And I'm going to push for the 10th. So this one's going to feature articles about Sarah Kane, who's a cosplay artist, Camelot Unchained, Land of Britain, GOG and CD Projekt Red, the studio behind Witcher and GOG.com, and Stacy Brooke, who's a life coach, along with a ton, just a metric ton of other content by our people. It's amazing. Even my daughter wrote a big, long story for it. So definitely check it out. It should be hitting around the 10th. And if not, it'll be on the 17th, and I'll be just kind of like, okay, you were right, little demon. Leslie, you wanted to say something?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. I saw you queue up briefly there. So, issue 7. We're already starting the planning phase of that. We're going to have a little meeting on that Wednesday. And that is targeting our issue 7, which is going to target the human connections that we form, going beyond the game. And if anyone out there met their significant other in an MMO, or has a person that they came to know through an MMO that has turned into a real life friend, we want to know about it. I'm going to task a few of our people to go interview some of you guys, try to write an article about these human connections that we feel, and kind of draw out the memories and real-life friendships that bloom out of video games, because this is much more than just a game. This is a community. And that will be shipping around October 26th, and that one should be on time. So now it's time for the question and answers, open floor discussions. If you have anything that you're wondering about, if you want to know how the Gaiscioch works or why the sky is blue, anything that I might be able to answer, please feel free to type X in chat or type out your question. Gma Fog has volunteered to read your questions if you don't want to actually speak. So please feel free, Twitch and YouTube, feel free to comment if you like, and I'll do my best to answer your questions.
Why is the sky blue? Ha ha ha.
Well, when I was a young little lad, my teachers told me it was a reflection of the water, because the world is mostly with ocean. But you would never guess how dismayed I would be when I went to Nebraska, in the middle of freaking nowhere, no water to be found anywhere, and the sky was still blue. Sorry, reflection? I don't think so. So who the hell knows why it's blue?
That's light refraction. Where do babies come from?
There's a good question.
Oh, and then we have the how much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Are we talking northeastern woodchucks?
The European swallow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want to be near any woodchuck that was chucking wood.
I think he just wanted Gma Fog to try to say that.
Why is a raven like a writing desk?
Okay, I gotta know why.
It's the biggest riddle out there. There is no answer.
Ah, troll.
Okay. Michael's got a question. If Fog falls off a cliff in the woods and no one is there to see it, does he still take fall damage?
Don't worry, it'll rub out. Alright, so no serious questions this time. Nobody has any burning questions or ideas that they want to bring up or epiphanies.
Beard Tongue has something he
Go
wants
for it,
to
Beard
say.
Tongue.
Well, just a progress report. I'm in my second week of playing World versus World. I was in a couple of family events yesterday and played for about 7 hours. I've been killing guards and carrying supply and building siege, repairing walls and gates, blowing up a few things with my staff. But the only problem I have is I've been putting all my points into things that I'm doing, having to do with guards and supply and building and stuff like that. And from time to time I get asked to, man a ram or operate a arrow cart or hop in a golem, and I don't know anything about those, and I don't have any points in those. And
so you'll get the points. They're going to be redoing it, and not everybody has ram mastery. Everything you did good when you ran with me. You'll get more and more points the more and more you do world versus world, and then you'll put 3 in ram mastery just so that you have that fire one, and that's the vulnerability for the gate. So don't worry about that yet. You're just starting up. It takes time to build the points up there.
There is a post on the forum somewhere that suggests which order to fill those out.
And they're going to change too. When Hawk comes out, it's going to be less points necessary, because they're going to take that final guard of the 2 of them away. So don't worry about that. You're going to get it just fine.
well, I'm enjoying doing what I can do, and I figured that I would get to those other things later on.
You will. You definitely will.
Yeah, for now, I would just focus on staying alive, focus on staying with the group, learning the terminology and the waypoints and the various castles. Learning your way around is first and foremost the most important thing you can possibly learn about World v. World is just learning those maps. And from that, you'll start picking up the rest. You'll start seeing how it works. Join my second event of the month, which is later. What is it? Thursday the 20th at 6 p.m. I'm going to actually be bringing people into World v. World and explaining the different siege types and the various abilities that you unlock with siege and kind of the skill tree and kind of overviewing all of that. So you're welcome to come to that as well and take a look at that. You can also see my screen from the Twitch feed so that you can see what those various buffs do and how they're implemented and what they, why are they important. I'll be going over all of that.
And I think we all as separate do when we have time too. If you don't have Flame Ram Mastery, I just go, someone with Mastery, go on that. I don't ask anybody to put points in. And there is a post on it, Civ, you're right. And we can certainly help you with that as you get more points. And the points will be lowered when Hawk comes out, so you should have enough for anything. Just send one of us a mail if you're in query about something like that, and we'll talk to you in Gamebox. We don't have a problem helping anyone with that stuff.
And the other problem I'm having is that the human players are a lot tougher to shoot than PvE monsters.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're very much squirrelier. The one thing I suggest to everybody who's first timing World v. World is find yourself toughness and vitality gear, stack it on yourself. Once you learn how to fight, then you can start diversifying your profile and going for a more burst damage, stuff like that. But going into battle for the first time with glass armor is not going to help you any. You're going to die before you can ever learn how to fight. And the first thing about fighting is being able to survive long enough to learn how to fight. So toughness and vitality is the spec I use. It's how I can run through a Zerg and come out the other side unscathed. You need to be able to survive long enough to get those training wheels off. And then you can take away little pieces at a time and build yourself into a more burst mechanic.
Simple Neo had a question.
Go for it.
How valuable are new members, and what can members do to become part of the family better?
Well, I can tell you, being a new member in our community is tough because there's so much to take in. A lot of times they can feel lost or isolated. If they don't get their ESO ID or GW2 ID into the website, they could even feel excluded because they didn't get an invite in-game. I highly recommend anyone that joins our family to touch base with me or any of the other elders or commanders and have them kind of explain some things to you. I know Smitty is very good at explaining things. I've listened to him in the past week explaining to about 3 different people. He's exceptional at it. He's even better at it than I am. But it definitely is a learning experience. There are some video tutorials on the website that kind of show you how the mechanics work. It is going to be on you to take the initiative to be able to, either look at the tutorials and reach out and talk to somebody. Gaiscioch doesn't pull your cart. We will help you pull your cart, but we won't pull it for you. So it's really going to kind of be a process of learning how it works. And once you've learned how it works, you're going to love it. I won't deny there is a part of refinement that is needed in the very first few days, and I am actually putting together a plan to cater to that because I know that that's kind of where our weak spot is those first few days. If somebody lasts a month, they're in for life. I mean, it's pretty obvious that once someone clears that first month, they're in and they're not going anywhere. It's just those first 30 days that are really killer because they're trying to learn everything all at the same time and they're just overwhelmed. And there's a lot to take in. I mean, we are a very unique concept. It's not like joining Gaiscioch you've ever been in any kind of community that's ever been like this. Whereas most guilds, they're all inclusive, or exclusive. They don't want to associate themselves with anyone else. They just want to be, we're Gaiscioch and go away, pugs. We don't want to talk to you. No, that's not what we're about. We are about including everybody, regardless of the tag above their head, in whatever we do. So if we're going to be running a PvE event, we're going to invite people from the zone and say, hey, come and join us. We're going to be doing this. Hey, do you need this? Do you want credit for this jumping puzzle? Whatever we're doing, we're offering our services out there for everybody, because that's how we grow, just like in the Gaiscioch 101 session. So, for a new member, my biggest words of advice is touch base with one of the veterans, get to know them, ask for help, figure out the website. The website is literally the heart of our community. Without it, you will not thrive, you will not survive, you will find yourself isolated off on your own little island and feel totally disconnected from everything. The website is the way that it is so that it attracts us, it gives us a unified place to contact one another. So if Guild Wars 2 went offline tomorrow, or ESO went offline, we would still have a home, and we would still have somewhere where we can communicate. We don't want all of the power stuck inside of a game that could kill itself at any moment. We learned that the hard way, and we will never do it again. For us, our community is through the website, through the voice communication, wherever it is. Today it's GameVox, tomorrow it might be some NeoVox or some crazy thing like that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I know
voice chat.
Yes, voice chat. 3 different people this last week, and led them through the website, how to claim for dungeons, how to claim for this, and all you have to do is PM and ask, and we'll guide you through it, that's for sure. And I'm not even an elder. I've just been here for a while and had to learn it myself through the elders helping me and the commanders. So we're always here. You just have to ask.
And sometimes you gotta remember too is some people are kind of shy when it comes to asking like that. When it comes to asking things like that, I haven't been here for very long. I think 6, 7 months ish, and I know the most daunting thing to me when I first joined Gaiscioch was, as Fog just said, the website. It was like, oh my god, what's going on here?
I know. It's like I say now, claim your participation. We have all credits for the marketplace. I'll show you the marketplace, and it's not intimidating once I think Fog has built the best system for gaming to be part of the family that I've ever seen all the years I've been gaming, and I've been gaming for a long time. It's just exceptional.
It does take a little bit of getting used to. I will say that I had to ask probably more times than I care to admit on how to navigate a certain part, how to post things, so on and so forth. But it all comes with time. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but the thing about it is our new members, one thing we were doing in the ESO channel is we wouldn't, or chapter, I'm sorry. One thing we would do is we wouldn't promote them to member until they've registered on the website, and people would ask questions. I know Pops and I do believe Verve and a bunch of other ones just went through and taught people through it and so on and so forth. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but as long as we all look out for each other and ask the questions that need to be asked of our elders, then I'm sure things will continue to go smoothly. Getting people up on the website, getting them acclimated to how it works and all of its craziness, and we should be just fine. I mean, just continuing along the lines we're going, at least from what I've seen in the ESO chapter. I, of course, cannot speak of the Guild Wars 2 chapter.
Oh, even in our GW2, we have to do world versus world in TS, and we have to make sure we verify, or they could be spies. So we have to lead everybody through, why do we need you to X up? And we just go, well, this is why. Now, there you are. You're out of jail. You're with the family now. Of all of us who are, You're free to travel. And they laugh. And, you know, that's what it is communication. And we do have that.
So yeah, the voice communication is important, but it's not the definitive answer. We have had deaf people in the past be a part of our family, and that is perfectly okay. If you don't want to ever talk on Gamebox, that is fine too. We are not going to force you into talking. We're not going to tell you you're a bad person for not doing so. That's not how we roll. We'll type to you if that's
Type
what
it
you want
in,
to
yeah.
do.
And there's still a lot that are in GSCH that were GSCH, and they love to do the events, but they don't want to claim for them. So it's up to them if they don't want to claim. They just don't care about that part, but they want to have fun and play with us.
Falk, have you discussed future chapters?
Future chapters right now is kind of something that I'm not even really bothering with until it actually is needed. With ESO somewhat recovering right now, I'm kind of waiting and seeing how that goes, because if the ESO continues to grow and continues to keep those numbers, there's no reason for us to go anywhere else.
Well, the reason why I ask is because it was a week or two ago, there was a question posed whether or not, you know, the ESO is going to continue on, saying that there is quite a few games coming out, and it was the same story as, you know, 5-6 months ago, where, you know, there was just a little bit of discussion, you know, about what's going to happen to the chapter, and, you know, where people are going to go. And I made the comment that I haven't heard of any other games coming out or seen of anything else, but I wasn't sure, so I figured I'd ask while everyone's here.
Okay, so we are looking at other games. I'm always looking at other games, even if when we were in Rift, which was our heyday. We had more people than we knew what to do with. We had so many people, we were pulling out our hair. That was crazy. We had literally like 2,500 active members. I mean, that's nuts. But, you know, and we were still looking at the games that are on the horizon. You always have to look at the horizon, because games like Warhammer, you know, they literally kill themselves overnight. Even Rift would eventually kill itself overnight. Storm Legion. Day Storm Legion hit, we had a surge. The month after that, we had an 83% reduction in population. Like, that was people that stopped playing the game altogether. And it was like overnight, our community just disappeared. And this happens. Games make really stupid moves, and they do stupid things. And they end up killing themselves. I mean, Star Wars Galaxy, prime example. You know, they kind of took the cake for that. It can happen anytime, anywhere. And my job as kind of the visionary behind Gaiscioch is to make sure that this family continues until I'm dead. That's pretty much my goal. Is when I die, you guys can do what you want with it. But till then, I'm going to continue running this thing.
Don't say that.
Well, right now, ESO, I don't know if you've been looking at the numbers, but ESO is in a bit of a... It's like a double-edged sword. It's in a dip right now because all the PvEers are kind of sick and tired of running the same old content over and over and over again. However, now that the PTSs come out, there's been like a huge surge of not actually people in the game, but there's a ton of them in the PTS, and they should be coming over once the new content hits, and hopefully some of the bugs removed. But right now we'll probably start seeing a dip until the PTS goes live. That's
As I mentioned before, we're in the summer months. Summer months are always dips. In the 14 years I've run Gaiscioch, I've never seen a summer that increased population. Every single year it's decreased. Like 5 years in a row, we've had over a 5% reduction every single month, all the way through September. That's just the way it is. Now, I will admit, ESO is on the threshold of the really painful numbers. When we get underneath 250, and I'll tell you why 250 is an important number. When we get below 250, being a casual gaming community, we don't have people that play 8 to 10 hours a day. That's not what we do. We have people that play 2 hours a week, 4 hours a week. So when you have 250 active members, those 250 active members are playing an average of 4 hours a day. So if you calculate that out over a 24-hour cycle, you might have 5 to 6 people on at any given time. Now, that said, there are lots of levels in ESO, and not a lot of opportunity to play across those levels. So like, if someone's coming in at level 10, who would they have to play with right now? Not a whole lot of people. So they would kind of get left out. And what we'll see is we'll see people coming into our family and then leaving our family because they can't play with anyone. And when we get below that 250 mark, it's going to self-propagate its own destruction at that point, and it will continue to do that until there's nothing left. We saw it with Warhammer. We tried to ride that out, and we tried to carry that on, and it just ate itself alive. Rift did the same thing. Eventually it was pretty much dead, and we had to make the call to pull the plug before we had nobody left. And that 250 number is really kind of the red line where things start going sideways quick. So I'm going to be doing everything in my power. That's one of the reasons why I'm coming back to ESO, is to try to boost those numbers. I really want to kind of, get people excited about the Imperial City and see what that's like. See if we can get some of those people to at least come back and try it. And if we can, and numbers start growing again, then we have nothing to worry about. But even if things go terribly miserable over the next few months, and ESO numbers activity-wise drop to like 100, there is nothing that's coming out this year that's worthwhile. I did look at Skyforge, and I have to tell you, I would kill myself if I had to roll a guild in the Skyforge. That guild system is the epitome of everything I despise in guild systems. It had all the great bells and whistles, all the neat little shinies. Oh, you have this feature, this feature, this feature. But guess what? You can only have 9 characters on day 1, and you're going to have to level up with 2 million of our currency and about 24 days worth of farming to be able to get more than 9 people in your guild. Are you kidding me?
Does that mean that you're going to be hitting vet 16 finally after a year and some change?
Are you kidding? I'm level 35. Yeah,
I figured I'd ask.
We can hope. Maybe if the AVA has changed to the point where I can actually level up playing AVA alone, then yeah. But if I'm going to have to go do quests and stuff, that'll never happen. Sorry. But, on the horizon, the deep horizon, we do have Camelot Unchained. We are good friends with a lot of their developers. The problem with Camelot Unchained is no PvE, which is a major, major, major strike against it. Without PvE, that's like half the family not there. We might as well have been, experiencing what we experienced when Guild Wars 2 first launched, and we had all Worldly Worlders, and the PvEers were like, where's my rating? Or like Rift. When we went into Rift and had this whole Warhammer crew that, Siege Warfare, Siege Warfare! What? Rift took out the Siege Warfare? What are we doing here, guys? We really kind of need to make sure that they have all ends of the spectrum holding up. So Camelot Unchained has a long fight against it, and if it doesn't feel right, and I know that those PvEers aren't going to be happy, we're not going to go there. We might form up a GSCH for the live stream sessions, but that'll be about it. That'll be the extent of it. EverQuest next, with Daybreak taking over and pretty much ripping down things, and then their CEO declaring war on hackers and now stepping out of the company altogether. Who knows if EverQuest next will actually ever see the light of day. You never know. And from what I can tell, there's no Siege Warfare. So we're going to be back in the Rift situation all over again. Black Desert is well on its way to killing itself before it ever got off the ground. They're already starting to take out all the neat features that people really fell in love with. Crowfall is mostly a straight PvP game with full loot PvP in a lot of cases. So if that's the case at launch and they don't include any way for PvEers to have fun in a both a PvP setting where they're not going to lose everything they work towards, and that's not even going to be a possibility. So Land of Britain does look like a great idea right now. They got a great engine. We got an interview with them, talked about a lot of other systems. Really great ideas. The only downside is it's probably going to be late 2017, 2018 before we actually see it. So that's quite a few years down the road. So, and then Bless, who knows if it's actually ever going to make it west. So yeah, that's pretty much the breakdown. We don't have anywhere else to go right now. ESO is kind of limping along. Guild Wars 2 is going to be booming with Heart of Thorns. That's a guarantee. They're also mentioned that they were going to bring Alliance into Heart of Thorns, so that would definitely help with the multi-room approach. So I would say that right now we're kind of in a holding pattern. I'm hoping PAX has some good news. I'm hoping sooner or later some of the developers will wake up and say, hey, maybe we should include some of this other content, or gaming communities like Gaiscioch aren't even going to be able to come here. I have been analyzing a lot of games. I've been playing Albion Online quite a bit, and that game is not going to be a Gaiscioch game. It just doesn't have the mechanic for it, and quite honestly, there's no way in the world you'd be able to fit 100 people on a screen and be able to do anything, because it prioritizes people over terrain. So when you click, you'd be clicking on all your friends trying to move around, and you wouldn't be going anywhere. So it would be quite the little nightmare. So that's pretty much the lineup. Yeah, so we started off with about 14 games that we're looking at. We're down to pretty much the top 8. There are some others that are starting to poke up, but again, they're not looking like they're going to be anywhere near ready before 2017, 2018. So we're looking at a long haul with Elder Scrolls and Guild Wars 2 right now. I don't think that we're going to see anything that's going to change that.
Sweet.
As I've always said,
Go.
as I've always said, the only thing that's going to kill Elder Scrolls is either one, you guys as a community decide that you don't want to play it anymore, or B, the developers. Changing something so drastically that it requires everyone to relearn the game, and that usually will kill a game quickly. So, and to help developers, I'm actually working really hard on putting together the very first of the Guild System Deconstructed series, which is going to be a new live stream / YouTube series event that both talks about what we look for in a guild system. So I'm going to be taking our 200-point inspection sheet and actually breaking it down into categories and groups, and then actually talking to developers about why these systems are important, why we hold so much weight on these various things. Alliance chat, why should it be there? And then we're also going to be taking a look at various games and breaking down their guild systems, saying, look, this is a really great feature, this isn't a really great feature. Here's the things that I think are exceptional about the game. Here's the things that I think are going to kill any chance of guilds having a successful opportunity in your game. And we're going to break it down and actually score these games based on their guild system, so that other guilds out there can take a look at these videos and say, this is interesting, and they break down the entire list of all the things that I highlighted for them, and they basically get a report card about the game. So I think it'll be a really good system, and I've never seen anyone do anything like it, so I think it'd be really helpful.
Have you ever checked out Yo's guild system?
Who's?
DDO.
DDO, I could tell you all about DDO. I install it on my system, and as soon as I boot it up, I have no mouse. That's as far as I've gotten. I've wanted to live stream it multiple times, that and Lord of the Rings Online. Both of those games, I have no mouse as soon as the game boots, and I can't click on anything. I actually did get a mouse at one point, but it didn't respond to anything. I click all over the place, it doesn't do anything.
Well, the thing about maybe something to look into, the DDO guild system is just like any other guild system. It's rather bare bones. But one thing that the DDO guild system has that I've seen nowhere else, you guys, it might be in other games you've played, but they have like a credit system for the guilds. So you just start up, everyone's playing, and let's say that 4 of us go in and we complete, as a guild, we complete Spindle Clutch. We do it 2 or 3 times, and we get let's say 10 points each time we clear it as a guild, or per person, whatever the case may be. Those points go into a basic pot, and from there you can buy an airship, and then from the airship you can buy buffs, merchants, so on and so forth. Basically, it's a convenience / perk thing. So if you have a very active guild, they can work together to to do activities, to buy things that give you just a hair more. So for example, if the DDO system was in ESO, right before we walked into Hellrot or an AA, all the raiders could go through and get all the buffs that, to make ourselves, give us more health, wherever the case may be, and then just give us a little bit more when it came to the raid or going into Cyrodiil or wherever the case may be. The buffs only last an hour, but that hour can go a long way. That's something I really like about the DDO system is it was kind of sneaky about it, but it really, really, brought people together to run stuff together because you got a bonus. If I remember correctly, I would have to ask my older brother, but if I remember correctly, you got a bonus for if everyone was from the same guild.
Yep. They're actually, funny enough, Rift was that way. You had those same kind of perks in Rift. And with Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns, that's going to be how it works. So, yeah, the new revision of the guild system, I mean, it already kind of works like that with the Influence right now, but they're taking it a step further with the Heart of Thorns expansion and giving us some new toys to play with. You also have that very same thing in Arc Lord 2, where you gain buffs every time that you level up the guild, but leveling up the guild just means bringing more people in it, which is actually just creating more characters. So yeah, it's Arc Lord 2 had a lot of nice little features, but in the end, I don't see it actually being that successful of a guild game. But those type of systems that's actually one of the things that's on our sheet of things that a guild system should have, is something that draws people together. It's the community aspect. Gives you a common goal. Without direction, people will tend to wander. And if the game can give a guild a direction, it definitely helps unify them and bring them in as a core. So. But
Okay,
anyways,
guys, I gotta go. I'm very, very late for our date night. I got a movie and Chinese food. So love you all, and I'll see you again.
See you
Alrighty,
later.
guys.
Have a nice one.
I'm going to wrap this up at this point. We are a bit over our hour limit by 30 minutes. So I will let you guys all go, and if I overlapped your event, I'm terribly sorry.
Thank you.
Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next month with another Gaiscioch Family Summit. Tune in to the Streams of Epic Adventure every Monday night, 6 p.m. The Siege War, Tuesday night, 6 p.m. And we'll also have some special episodes of the Siege War and the learning events on Thursday at 6 p.m. Other than that, you've got the regular Fogs side quests randomly throughout the day. If you want to check out some of the games that we're taking a look at, I'm actually going to be streaming a little bit of Kingdom Come Deliverance here soon. So you can check that out just by favoriting the Twitch and YouTube streams. So thank you all. Have a nice weekend, and I will see you in the coming weeks.
Take care, bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Hog.
Hog.